Hello and welcome to Shell Point Today for Wednesday, December 14th. I'm Adam Brown. On today's show, we'll have a delicious recipe for potato latkes, and we'll hear more about the Christmas caroling aboard the Suzy Q. But first, don't forget that tomorrow you can enjoy some holiday lights at Charlotte Harbor in this canal boat tour at Fisherman's Village in Punta Gorda. First, you'll enjoy holiday shopping and dinner out, followed by a boat ride aboard Kingfisher Cruise Lines. It's a fun, colorful, light-filled journey through the canals of Charlotte Harbor. The cost of the outing is $27 with dinner on your own, and court pickups begin on the island at 2 p.m. for those who sign up. Also, don't forget to participate in some Christmas spirit by caroling aboard a sunset cruise on the Suzy Q. Sing some of your favorite Christmas carols in this 1.5-hour cruise. Eggnog and Christmas cookies will be served as well. Come join your Shell Point neighbors and friends at 6 p.m. on December 15th, 16th, 19th, 22nd, and 23rd. The cost of the caroling cruise is $5 per person, so sign up now as space is limited. The Village Church recently wrapped up their annual Thanksgiving food drive, and the results are in. Over 1,200 pounds of food and $4,172 in monetary donations were collected. Thanks to everyone who participated in the drive. And now it's time for another installment of What's Cooking. Today, David Lee is joined by fellow resident Sheila Sklar. They are going to show us how to prepare a delicious potato latke.
Hi, it's David Lee, and it's What's Cooking at Shell Point. And today we have a special guest with us, a good friend, Sheila Sklar. And as we think about the holidays and that, I'm always intrigued to learn from other religions and different kind of things. And so Sheila very graciously volunteered to make us potato
latkes.
Latkes. I can't get that latkes right. So Sheila, thanks so much for doing this, and I look forward to learning it. In fact, I'm planning to do this on Christmas Day.
Okay, well, Christmas Day happens. For us. Okay, and it happens that Christmas Day is also, for this particular year, on the lunar calendar, it's also the first day of Hanukkah, which is latkes being one of the foods that we use to celebrate Hanukkah, because it's the rededication of a temple, and its the whole story evolves around oil. You see, in 167 before the Christian era, Antiochus, who was a Hellenistic Syrian Greek ruler of the temple, used the temple to worship Zeus. And he had put in an edict at that point in time that all Jews had to convert and worship Zeus and all the Greek gods. And Judah Maccabee and his sons rebelled against Antiochus, took back the temple, and there was only oil enough for one day, only holy oil enough for one day. And when they had to clean up the altar, they had to go out and get more oil. And they took 8 days traveling, 4 days to get to the oil and 4 days back. And in the meantime, they only had one bottle of oil. And that oil happened to last. It was a miracle, and it lasted for 8 days. So we celebrate by using food that has a lot of oil in it. And potato latkes is one of them. And,
that was new to me to learn that your traditional meals at the time, everything has oil involved in it.
Yes. And I'm going to make the latkes, but I just want to explain that making latkes, since it's a traditional family recipe, it varies from family to family. Something like chocolate chip cookies, where some like them crisp and some like them soft, and some like them
be crisp,
and some like them with lots of chocolate and some with a little chocolate. So it's a this and a that kind of a recipe, but this is mine. So that's what I'm going to present, and I'm going to begin by taking an onion. It's very few ingredients, but I'm going to just take this onion and I'm going to put it into the Cuisinart. And you'll see after I put it into the Cuisinart what's going to happen with it. Again, some people might just want to chop the onion. And more interesting than the onion, and we're going to get to that, is the potatoes, because the old-fashioned way of doing potatoes, David gave me this to show you, that women would stand there and grate the potatoes, and it created a certain consistency that became a tradition in the flavoring of it, the texture. And The modern woman goes, oh no, this is too much work for me. Let me just trash this. It's too much work for me. I want to make it easier. So they started to use some shredded potatoes, which is here. Now Publix has these right above the eggs. They have the, I don't want to use the scissor, may I? Okay. And when you make them with shredded potatoes, simply potatoes, shredded hash browns, when you make it that way, they come out very coarse. And it doesn't taste like childhood latkes. So first I'm going to put the onions in here. Okay, let me just do that separately. Okay, David's going to be...
I'll help you out a little bit here.
My assistant. Okay, I'm just going to... Because we want the onions to really be fine, because they too were grated by hand, so they have a mushy consistency. Then I put the potatoes in. Now for me the secret is I don't want to ruin all the shreddedness of it, nor do I want to make it as coarse as the way they come in the package. So I just pulse it a little bit just to get a combination of textures. Let me just see how that looks. A little bit more. I should be using, not my fingers, but they're clean enough. Let me just, I just want to...
I bet your grandma used her fingers.
Yes. Food always tastes better when it's... Why isn't this going on? What am I doing wrong? Oh, okay. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
It's a safety.
Oh, okay. That's about it. So if I can... David's doing the hard work. So I can show you. You can see some of it's still shredded and some of it isn't. But that way you get a mixture of both textures, which I like and I would recommend. Okay. Of course.
So many of our neighbors won't have a Cuisinart. So
Then they could just use the plain shredded potatoes. It just won't have a softer finish. But if you don't have a Cuisinart, then they just become like plain potato pancakes.
okay, so this is better. Yeah.
So this is, yes, I'm prejudiced. This is better. Okay, so we're finished with the Cuisinart. And now I'm going to put in 2 eggs. I'm going to put in a half a cup of breadcrumbs. Two eggs. Okay. David's nice enough, and I'm lucky enough that he has eggs in the house because I forgot to bring them. And wet hands. So let me just go to the sink for a minute and wet my hands. And David, can you put some oil in the, and spread the oil in the skillet?
You want a lot or a little?
Whatever feels right. Now,
Okay.
of course, every recipe calls for salt and pepper. I don't use salt, but by all means you can.
You want
but
some
I do
white
use
pepper or dark pepper?
The dark pepper's fine. I don't use that much.
There you go.
Okay. And I'm doing the same thing you would if you were making hamburgers. You know, I'm just mixing all the ingredients together. And then I'm going to take all this over to the stove and make my latkes.
And we turned the pan on about 10 minutes, so you want to get it nice and hot, right? That's what you taught me, right?
Correct.
So,
okay. Then I take, just like as if I was making a meatball, and I flatten them. Now the shape will vary according to the way they want to go. The same as when you don't make exact hamburgers or meatballs. Ooh. And they're going to cook. I'm trying to make them as flat as possible because the one thing I do prefer is flat. Some people like them even flatter. That's almost like cooking the thickness of a crepe. As I say, every family has their own tradition as to how they make them. You can hear the sizzling. And they're going to stay on this side for around 3 to 4 minutes. And then I'm going to turn them over. Now with this amount, you can't use just one application on the skillet. You're going to have to use 2 because it takes that much room, and you want to leave plenty of room between each pancake.
And we want to eat them all.
And then you can eat them all. Okay, now we can just... Well, it's been around somewhere between 4 to 5 minutes, and they look to me as if they're getting ready to be turned. So I'm just going to flip them over. And this is even a better view of seeing the multiple consistencies of the potato. Oops. There we go. And then we'll do probably another 3 minutes on this side. Again, I'm flattening them as much as I can. And that's kind of going to be it. It's been another 3 minutes on the opposite side. I'm going to take them off and put them on a paper towel so that any excess oil can be absorbed by the paper toweling. And I'm not sure that, though this is a nice large plate, it's going to hold all of them. And this, the secret of serving them is to serve them with either applesauce, which we have right here, or sour cream. And it could be light sour cream, it could be regular sour cream, but the way to eat a latke is with the sour cream. And I thought, did we get the match? Did we get the match?
No.
One of the best ways of celebrating Hanukkah is I'm going to light this menorah, and I'm going to light it so that you can see the first this is the shamus candle. The shamus candle is the leader. We refer her, I want to say her, as the servant. And what you do on every day of the 8 days, you light the shamus. Okay. And starting from the right and going to the left, you line up the candles. But now let's say I was going to do the second day, I would light the second day first and then the first.
Okay.
And then the next day I would light the third day first and then go from there. But they're all lit with the shamus. And then I would say, if you don't mind my voice, a simple little prayer, which is Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehekianu v'hiyamanu v'higiyanu lazman hazah. And basically I'm saying, bless you, God, ruler of the universe, who has kept us alive, who has sustained us and brought us to this wonderful season. Amen. And now we have latkes with applesauce or sour cream, however you want them. And here we go. And what would you like, David?
Oh, I better try both of them, actually.
Okay, well, I'll put a little dollop of applesauce on that one, and then you can decide which you prefer.
And when we both taste it here.
Okay.
And this is how your grandmother and mother made them, right?
Well, no, they used to grind it with that grater.
And you get a little red food
A
coloring.
little red food coloring,
From
yes,
yes.
from the knuckles. They're soft and they're crispy at the same time. Very good.
I really like the fact that you made them thin.
Yes.
Because I don't like, when I get hash browns, they're so thick.
Right, that adds cornstarch, I think, to puff them up. Yeah. Okay.
I like them both ways.
Good. Good.
Anyway, Sheila, thanks again for coming and not only sharing your recipe, but I learned a little bit more about your faith.
Okay,
so,
good. I'm
happy
glad.
Hanukkah to you.
Happy Hanukkah to you. Good,
and
yeah,
happy
too.
eating to everybody else. This is Shell Point What's Cooking.
Christmas is the time that puts people in the mood to sing. Christmas caroling with your friends and neighbors is a great way to get into the holiday spirit and spread some cheer. A fun way to participate in caroling happens aboard the Suzy queue. Beth Crenshaw and Captain Russ are at the boat now to tell us more about the caroling events and how you can participate.
Hi, I'm Beth Crenshaw, volunteer manager at Shell Point. I am joined with Captain Russ, of the Suzy Q. And today we're going to tell you a little bit about the upcoming caroling trips that are starting in December. So Russell, this is kind of new for you and I, but around Shell Point, this is a tradition that happens every year at Christmas time. We board the Suzy Q with a bunch of residents and cruise around the canals. Is that correct? I know you know where
That's exactly
headed.
what we're going to do. We're going to cruise around Palm Acres and Shell Point and let the residents experience the singing of the volunteers.
Super, yeah. And so we'll have someone there to kind of lead the singing, caroling book, so if people don't know what the words are, they're right in front of them. And then we're going to have some eggnog, some cookies.
And the boat will be lit up and decorated for Christmas, so it'll definitely draw the attention of the residents.
That's right, yeah. So they're going to post the dates below, but we've got the dates of December 13th, 16th, 19th, 22nd, and 23rd. And the tours start at 6 o'clock. Now, guests should arrive here a little bit beforehand, right?
Yes, at least 15 minutes before.
Okay, so around 5:40, 5:45 to board the Suzy Q, and just get ready for a fun night of caroling with all of your friends and neighbors. If you have any questions, please just call me at my office, 454-2290. Merry Christmas.
And now it's time to cover all of today's happenings, menus, and Village Church connections.
Hello and welcome to the Happenings segment of Shell Point TV. I'm Bev Chandley.
And I'm Dora Robbins.
And we're going to go over the activities that we offer for you here today at Shell Point. Our first activity of the day is at 7:45. We have the men's Bible study in the Osprey Room. Pickleball will be at the game courts at 8 o'clock. At 8:45, we have Lily and Company Jewelers here for their weekly jewelry service. That's at the Resident Activity Center. Jurassic Travel will be in the egret room to help with your personal travel needs. That's at 9 until noon. Also at 9, we have the watercolor group with Phil Hilton. They'll be down in the art studio on the island. The card making and scrapbooking group will be in the tarpon room at 9:15. And then at 10:15, the Model Yacht Sailing Club will be at the Woodlands Commons Lake. Our Women's Global Outreach will be at the Village Church at 10:15. A complimentary ticket is required. And our final morning activity is a Health Connections class, Bar Ball Edition. That's in the Health Club, and that's it for the morning. Dora, what's going on this afternoon?
Thanks, Bev. We're going to start at 12:45 with a Health Connections Strength and Conditioning. That's at the Health Club. Sign up is required. At 1 o'clock, chess in the Library Lounge. 1:15, Pavilion Auxiliary Orientation. That's in the Offspring Room. At 2:30, Jazz and Stuff at the Grand Cypress at the Woodlands. 3 o'clock, we have Health Connections, Pilates Bar Fusion in the Health Club on the island. 4:30, Indoor Bocce at the Health Club on the island. And we have singles tables at the Crystal Dining Room at 5 o'clock. 5:45, Church Choir in the Choir Room at the Village Church. We have Christmas carols at 6 o'clock, and it's performed by the Shell Point Jazz Band. It starts at 6 o'clock at the fountain at the Mid-Rise Courts, 6:20 at Sundial, and at 6:40, Harper Court. And the last activity for the day is at 7:15. It's the annual church meeting, and that's the Village Church. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you back here again tomorrow.
Menus for Wednesday. In the Crystal Room, the Crystal Platter is braised pork with mashed sweet potatoes and sautéed mushrooms with onion. For dinner, you can have the dinner buffet for $14.95, and the soup of the day is chicken Florentine. In the Island Cafe, the sandwich special is a turkey burger with sweet potato fries for $7.95. Dinner specials in the Palm Grill are veal piccata for $16.95 or halibut for $18.95. All menus are available 24 hours a day at www.shellpoint.net.
Welcome to the Village Church Connections. My name is Don Pullen, and today I'm here with Jim and Judy Mayer. Hey, Jim. Hey, Judy.
How are you?
Doing great. How about you?
Wonderful. We're glad to be with you today.
Great. You getting ready for the holidays?
We're getting started.
You're getting started, huh?
Yeah.
Are you going to stay here for the holidays? Or are you going?
Yes.
And our family coming down to visit you?
Not this time. We're having quite a few people that don't have a place to go. We're going to wing it this year.
Wow, what a great idea, inviting others to celebrate Christmas.
Be fun.
It's interesting that there are really a lot of people that don't have family that can come, and so we try to reach out to some of those people.
Wow, that'll make it a special Christmas,
Sure.
right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Good. Well, we want to talk about GriefShare. We've just finished our fall GriefShare series, and we had a wonderful time.
We did.
How many participants were there this fall?
We started out with about 15, I think, give or take, and maybe even a few more, but then it dropped off a little bit, and there were a variety of reasons for that. Judy, why don't you comment on some that dropped out?
A couple of people, or more than that, came a little too soon after their loss. So we recommend a couple of months of time because they were not overwhelmed at the beginning, but they were afraid they'd be overwhelmed. And so we recommend taking a little time.
This is the first time we've gone through this GriefShare material, and we were really very impressed with the presentations, weren't we? They really covered so many different aspects of what's involved in the grief process, and some of them we hadn't even thought through ourselves, and we felt that the input of a lot of different participants on the video was really very helpful.
Both professionals and non-professionals who were people who had grieved recently when they took the film. People tend to really have a very unique experience in grief, and yet when we get together we find out how similar our experiences are and that there is a pattern. And it's so comforting to know that I'm not the only person who's forgetting everything right after death, or I feel so exhausted. Lots of things like that are symptomatic of the experience for almost everyone.
And so every meeting when you gather, there's more or less two parts of that, right? There's the teaching part, which is watching the video, which is always chock full of helpful hints and you know, people sharing their experience, and then we divide up, right, into two groups usually, and just in a little smaller setting share some of the unique things that are going on in our lives so that we can come alongside one another and encourage one another and maybe even help one another during that time.
Absolutely.
There's a third part, and that is the workbook,
this workbook is really helpful.
It's very well written, and it keeps every day has something unique to talk about, which prompts my thinking and my reactions and pushes me on through the process.
Wow, so you're engaging with it not just during our time together each week, but during the week as well.
That's right. One of the exciting things for us thinking ahead is that we've got a new location.
We do.
We're actually going to be meeting at the Oak Room out at the Woodlands in the Commons right across from the Palm Grill. And we start on January 12th through April 6th. And we're going to start at 2 o'clock right on the dot. And so that's a little bit of a new time, a new location, and a new time slot on the calendar. So that's exciting to think about. And we really want to see people get plugged into that.
Great. That should be exciting. New series that we start in the spring. And this is specifically for those that have lost loved ones.
Right.
Whether just within the last year, or sometimes people have grieving to do that's old, and it seems to wait for you until you're ready.
Wow, great.
It's interesting that some people have still not really dealt with their grief after a couple of years, and so this would be an excellent program for people for whom that is still waiting, and they're thinking about that, and it's still on their minds very much. We also had a number of people toward the end that came late in our program this fall, and they'll want to start in January to pick up the pieces that they missed earlier in the program. So we're excited about that.
Great. Well, we want to thank you, Jim and Judy, for the ministry that you have with GriefShare. And it really is important, I think, to help people through a part of all of our lives. All of us will suffer grief at some point in time, and it may not have been soon, it may have been a while ago, but to be able to have such awesome material and a great leaders and a good group that facilitates that, I think, is very important. So thank you for your ministry
You're
in
welcome.
doing that.
It's helped us this year.
Yeah, it really has.
Wow.
So
Praise
we
God.
are very
Yeah.
encouraged.
Good, good, good. Thank you. And thank you for watching the Village Church Connections. Have a great day.
Thanks for joining us for today's show. Tune in again tomorrow when we'll have another art chat segment with Margie Lee. She will visit with Marilyn Fowler. She's turned her residence into a fabulous art studio and will have some beautiful paintings to show us. Until then, this has been Shell Point Today for Wednesday, December 14th. I'm Adam Brown, and on behalf of everyone here at Shell Point TV, we hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll see you again tomorrow.